Hi there everyone, Laurence this week with his coaching video. Approach that time of year where winter projects start. For some of you, maybe having a little bit more time on your hands. Again, some of you may be having less time and thinking, you know what, rather than maybe going out and playing, which again I'm a big advocate of, I still want you to get out there and play. Maybe it's time to mix a little bit up with that, some coaching or getting your own practice time in. Having a little reassessment, see where the handicap index has got to this year. Again, seeing how the swing looks visually and how that's reflected in scoring. What are your miss patterns around the golf course? Am I seeing more of a left miss? Am I seeing a right miss? Is it a little bit on the thinner side? Is it a bit on the heavier side? I think if you sit back and have a little reflect over the year, maybe go on to your intelligent golf apps or apps which store your scores. I'm sure some of you actually have a look a bit more at the stats side of things, which again in a couple of my sort of mini podcasts you've seen where we talk about managing your expectations. We talk about potential where you're playing around the golf course, your misses, where might be a better miss than a... And it's just being constructive about it all. It's not being defensive. It's not being negative. It's just understanding your, again, if you see me for lessons, I always talk about your DNA as a golfer. And understanding that will provide you in good stead. So, winter training. And for this chap here, got a little bit more time in his hands. And we've got two images up. We've got the original image on the left-hand side. And then the one on the right-hand side. And there's a little bit of a grid system in place on the right hand side. Visually it helps people, and again I'll start talking about that as we see the videos unfold. But again, good golfer. Again, looking at the image on the left hand side, if I just take that away, image on the left hand side, people get very obsessed about what it looks like on the way back, but really liking the moves, how that club makes its transition into the golf ball. A little bit of an in-to-out path. But again here, just suffering with a lower ball flight, wants to see the ball flight go a bit higher. Sometimes the start line's a bit too far left. With the longer clubs it starts to cut away, but predominantly quite a heavy contact as well. What we have on the right hand side, so after discussing initial thoughts, I definitely wanted to have the feel. We need the swing to feel a little bit more rounded. We need to get this angle of attack a little bit less steep. Need to feel a bit more of a rotational force happening. And what you'll see in the two camera angles, you might go, okay, well he's aiming a long way left here on the right hand side image versus the original image. But as you'll see on the floor, the feet are parallel to a shaft or a cane next to his feet. His shoulders are very much matched up to that as well. So there's shoulders, there's the feet line, there's the knee line, okay? But if I zoom in here, you'll very much see there, I've got a pointer to the club line is still very similar to this one over here, okay? Just inside the sets of markers. So the idea behind this, I wanted to create a bit more of a rounded feel, but to still give the client a way of being able to sort of swing the club a little bit away from him. So the cane here on the right hand side, if I just draw that up. That's a bit of a feel about where I want him to feel like he's swinging the club back and through. And then here's our target line. Yeah, here's our target line just inside the sets of markers up there. So let's have a little look how that compares and how that shapes up. So if we take that back now, you'll see first of all the transitional stage much more through the hands. Okay, big difference here. It's not just camera angle. Okay. You'll see how the arm structure is going a little bit more through his shoulders. Again, equally here I like this, but it was a slightly higher left arm, a bit more of a fader's bias type scenario. But here's the key move. Okay, here's the key nugget move. This doesn't change. You'll see how the shaft Goes a little bit through the shoulder line. Hands staying beautifully on that line, so club shaft and head work a bit more underneath. But key here, club head just ever so slightly inside the hands compared to our image over here. Club head just outside of the hands. So we're getting very steep here on the left hand side. On the right hand side you can see the direction the club's travelling out in. Club face a little squarer. This one trying to really turn hard, and you'll see the excess club rotation through the other side versus a much squarer club face. Okay, so the more the club face points down on the left hand image, it's closed. This one here, toe of the club points more to the sky, and you'll see visually from the start line of the golf ball, there she is right there, just inside that line, versus over here. Oops, just remove that last line. Much further left. Okay, so start of a little bit of a project here, a bit of tidying up. But again, having a grid-like system on the floor there can be quite a powerful image of how to translate, being a bit more open, being a bit freer for that club to work into. So good start from the client here, and I look forward to seeing the results over the winter. Again, any inquiries, please do speak to myself. We'll put you on a little project, so ready to kickstart that 2023. Cheers, guys.